Ladies and gentlemen, it is finally time. It is finally time for episode 1 of the Grisaia Phantom Trigger anime series. I have been waiting so long for this. I have been so excited for this ever since it was first announced that Grisaia Phantom Trigger was going to be adapted into an actual anime series instead of just OVAs. But yes, I'm so excited to dive into this. Now, I still have some concerns when it comes to adaptation from the visual novel. I remember a few days ago, the Frontway account on Twitter, they said that the anime series will pretty much pick up where the story left off during the first 3 OVAs. Now, it seemed like to me that the anime was going to start off on Volume 4 instead of basically rehashing the events of Volumes 1 through 3, which is what the first 3 OVAs, movie OVAs, adapted. If that was the case, then I find that to be easier to digest, because I was concerned that a 12 episode anime series was going to squish 7 volumes into, a single core, which I definitely did not want. But if they are going to start with Volume 4, then that is easier to digest, because that means that they're only going to adapt 4 volumes instead of 7. The first 4 volumes, no, not the first 4 volumes, but they're going to adapt 4 volumes instead of 7. However, I still have some concerns, because, anime adaptations of source materials tend to rush things most of the time, for most anime adaptations. So, but yeah, we're just gotta wait and see how this is adapted. So, yeah, all of that, without further ado, let's just get on to it. Alright, everyone, here we go. Episode 1 of Grisaia Phantom Trigger. And this is not... I did not expect it to start off like this, to be honest. On the surface. Sadly, this is a job that you don't get paid enough for. Mother's Cradle. Okay. Now this looks familiar. There. Okay, now we're in familiar territory. The junior's going at it. Ah, yes. The students, yeah. So yes, aside from being highly trained, highly skilled assassins, and technically being students, I guess. Yes, the Class A of Mihama, the Phantom Trigger team, also teach classes themselves. That's right. And we see that with Aoi here. Also, in the visual novel, Murasaki is supposed to be with Arisaka, Miss Arisaka, in this scene. So I'm not sure why why she's omitted. What? No, I'm sorry, but in that scene, Rena is supposed to be there. Rena is supposed to be, you know, since Aoi is like her master and all, and Rena is just so close to him and all that. She's just so infatuated with him. Rena is supposed to be among that crowd of kids, despite, you know, technically, you know, she's not supposed to be there because, you know, they're both Haruto and her are in the same grade. But yes, Rena is supposed to be there, and you know, Haoi and Rena are supposed to have this brief interaction. Well, somewhat brief. You know, with Haruto asking, "Hey, why are you here, Rena? You're not supposed to be here," and all that. But yeah, why did it? Man, I'm disappointed they cut that out. I'm actually disappointed. To say the least. Also, this was not how she was introduced in the visual novel. Oh man, I'm still wondering how in depth I should go during the actual live reaction, or if I should just save it until the end. Man, yo, fuck it, I'm just gonna say it right now. So, yeah, she's not supposed. This is not how she's supposed to be introduced in the visual novel. In the visual novel, she's introduced during Chris's class, where she teaches kids on like you know, how to detect bombs. Because yes, Chris is actually a demolitions expert, aside from being Class A's mother, basically. And they never explain what that is. Yep, Haruto was her playmate. Mm-hmm. Okay, now we get to see. Okay, now we get to her class. So they just switched. So they basically just switched up the order of the events from the VN. They didn't entirely omit it, which I mean, I guess that's okay. I mean, it's better than it's better than completely cutting it out. That's for sure. There's a box labeled danger. I guess that's supposed to be like a red herring. Ah, there it is. I suppose another red herring. Rip teddy bear. Oh, wow. I'm gonna be completely real. I did not expect them to adapt this scene where they were eating lunch. Honestly, when it comes to the food scenes in the VN, I usually don't care about those. Personally, for me, I wouldn't mind if the anime would just skip over most of them, because most of the time they're pretty much just filler. But I guess they're adapting it. But then again, I suppose it does bring a real, like, I guess, comfy vibe. Rena's not the only girl infatuated with him. Oh shit, the sniper scene. I did not expect them to adapt this either. Also, they didn't mention it in they didn't mention it here, but in the visual novel, Toka said that this training is based on Yuji's sniping skills from the original Grisaia trilogy. This goes to show how much of a legend Yuji is in the Phantom Trigger world. He set the precedent for a lot of things. Ah, here we have Murasaki's lessons. Also, man, it has been so nice that we finally get an actual good character, an actually good Ayane Sakura character. Because I have said before that lately, from what I've seen of her, she hasn't been in a lot of very good roles. She's voiced quite a few characters that I'm just not a fan of. But that all changes today. Of course, this is not a dig on her personally. I really do admire Ayane Sakura as a VA. Okay, I think I do remember Taiga's past being in the visual novel, but but illustrated like this? Definitely not. That's a nice liberty that the anime took. You are not a child, but Chris will be your mama just the same. Oh, this is so... How wholesome. Oh my god. Ah, even though it passed by so quickly, I gotta say, that is easily one of my favorite, one of the most memorable scenes from Volume 4. And yes, yeah, one of my favorite scenes from Volume 4. Oh man, it just goes to show, like, you know, Chris truly is a mother to all of these characters, all the characters in Class A, in all the students of Phantom Trigger. Oh man, so glad it's adapted. Woo! The part where she said that, the part where she was telling the story about the Omen, I honestly don't, because I'm pretty sure I know who it's referring to, but I don't remember the exact event of how it went down. I feel like that's something that's covered in Volume 6, but man, I'm gonna have to go over Volume 6 again as well, because man, it's just been so long. Yep. You know, as kind of a gun nerd, I think I remember during my playthrough of Volume 4 back in my old channel. But I think I remember saying stuff like, "Oh, she just started off with a 22, and then she to work her way up." Because I'm pretty sure that's not, that gun was, despite how small it was probably like 9mm, 38 ACP. I mean, it could. I'm not saying it will, but it could. Fan Trigger is employed by the government, after all. And you're her mama. How fitting that I believe this track is called Watering Tomatoes. And it's playing when it's pouring rain. Oof. Girls fell asleep. Oh, she's already at the university? Oh, we're already at this point? At the very first... Oh, dear. Okay. So we're already at the university crisis, the university attack. Okay. Okay, well, first of all, overall, Very enjoyable first episode of Grisaia Phantom Trigger. There's a lot of things I'm glad that they adapted. Like I said, there's still a couple things that I'm disappointed that they cut out. What I'm wondering right now is, what are they gonna adapt Chris's backstory? Because that's how Volume 4, which this episode adapts, that's how Volume 4 starts off. And Volume 4 is focused on Chris, so, I mean, that's a pretty important part of her character. There's no way they're gonna completely cut out. There's no way they're gonna completely cut out her backstory, right? There's no. Well, I know. Well, it's evident by this episode that they plan on switching things around for the anime adaptation. So events are not gonna be like, they're not gonna play in the same order. They're sometimes not gonna play in the same order as a visual novel. I mean, I get that, but still, I hope Chris's backstory is adapted soon, because, like I say, it's an important part of her character. Also, another thing I'm concerned about is, yeah, we are already at the university crisis, and that is something that, yeah, I mean, I know Volume 4 isn't exactly a long novel, especially not compared to the other, especially compared to, like, later installments in the series, but I'm still concerned that they're rushing things, because the university crisis I consider, like, something that happens, like, during the third act of the story. And we already got there during, like, the end of episode 1. So I'm concerned when it comes to, like, the pacing of the anime adaptation. We just gotta wait and see. But I mean, this is also the concern I had when the anime was first announced. Because I was worried that they were going to adapt the first 7 novels of... They're going to try squishing that into 12 episodes. And I say 7 because that includes Volume 5.5, which is kind of like a filler focused on Miss Arisaka. But yeah, Volumes 1 through 6, I was afraid they were going to squish that into like a 12-episode format. Thankfully, that is not the case. By looks of it, it might be just the first, like, Volumes 4 through 6, including 5.5. But like I said, I'm still concerned as to the pacing. Because even though they did adapt a good chunk of Volume 4 already, I'm still... It does feel rushed. It does feel kind of rushed. Which I suppose is inevitable for many anime adaptations. But yeah, we're just gonna see how it goes. But I'm so glad they adapted so many scenes, including that scene with Taiga and Chris cuddling on the bed. The big takeaway I want anime onlys to get from this anime adaptation in Volume 4 so far is Chris's abilities as basically Mihama's mother. Like, Class A Phantom Trigger's mom. Like, her maternal capabilities. Because that is such an integral part of her character. Because Chris, she cooks them food. I'm pretty sure she cleans up after them. She deeply cares about them. She looks after them. She looks after all these students. She gives them guidance, wisdom. You know, she really is just basically, you know, Mihama's mother. And so far, I think this anime does a pretty good job illustrating that, even though the pacing and the order they go about things is questionable. But yeah, like I said, overall, a very strong start to Grisaia Fan Trigger. Very enjoyable first episode. As a visual novel reader, I definitely enjoyed it, and I'm glad Phantom Trigger we finally got adapted into an anime series, and yeah, I'm anxious to see how the rest is adapted, how further events are adapted. But yeah, other than that, thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. Subscribe to my channel, follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you guys next time.